Terror versus horror, what's the difference? When discussing frightening media, be it film, literature or games, people often use the terms terror and horror interchangeably. Yet, for scholars and genre aficionados, there's a clear and meaningful distinction. Understanding this difference enhances not only how we interpret these works, but how we experience fear itself. Terror, the fear of what might happen. Terror is rooted in anticipation. It's the psychological tension, the dread that builds as you wait for something awful to occur. Terror is subtle, intellectual and often more unsettling. It plays on the unknown and forces the mind to imagine what lurks beyond the veil. Example in film, The Others, 2001, starring Nicole Kidman, is a masterclass in terror. The film relies on suggestion, atmosphere, and silence. Viewers are constantly unsure of what is real and what is not. The fear emerges not from jump scares or gore, but from the eerie stillness and the creeping feeling that something is very wrong. Example in games, Amnesia, The Dark Descent, uses terror to great effect. The player spends most of the game hiding and avoiding threats they can't quite see. The lack of direct confrontation builds tension, making every footstep and creaking door feel unbearable. Terror, in essence, is the fear of anticipation, of what you might see or what could happen if you turn that corner. Horror, the fear of what has happened. If terror is the build-up, horror is the release. It's the visceral, often physical response to something dreadful that has just occurred or is being witnessed. Horror doesn't hint, it shows. It confronts you with the grotesque, the shocking, or the violent. While terror is subtle, horror is brutal. Example in film, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974, embodies horror. The violence is sudden and graphic. There's no build-up to terror in many scenes, only raw, unrelenting imagery that disturbs and repulses. Example in games, Resident Evil, particularly the early titles, leans heavily into horror. Zombies burst through windows, mutated creatures chase you down narrow corridors, and blood is everywhere. The fear here is not of what might happen, but of what you're being forced to confront head-on. The two often work together. It's worth noting that most effective horror media blend terror and horror. One builds the mood, the other delivers the payoff. A great example is Silent Hill 2, a game soaked in psychological terror, but which also delivers horrifying imagery, e.g., Pyramid Head scenes. Similarly, Hereditary, 2018, uses long stretches of terror before horrifying, traumatic moments. Final thoughts. The distinction between terror and horror was famously articulated by Gothic author Anne Radcliffe in the 18th century. She argued that terror expands the soul and awakens the imagination, whereas horror freezes and nearly annihilates it. In modern media, both have their place, but knowing the difference helps us appreciate the craftsmanship behind our favorite scares. So next time you feel a chill watching a film or playing a game, ask yourself, am I terrified or horrified?